Good evening. What's going on, folks? Welcome back to Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So I wanted to get on here right quick and talk about two things. One, gonna talk about the recent Nintendo Direct March 2025 edition. Gonna talk about pretty much a few of the announcements that really got my attention. And also going to talk a little bit about Ubisoft, as some major news dealing with Ubisoft has happened. So should be interesting. But start off with good old Nintendo. That's right, Nintendo had another Nintendo Direct, March 2025. This took place March 27th. And interestingly enough, that we had this one, and don't forget, next week we got another one that's supposed to be focused on more details for the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2. But a couple of things from this Direct that really stuck out. Of course, they showed off Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake, so definitely interested in that. That'll arrive later this year, later 2025. It didn't specify a release date, but definitely that is a game I will be picking up. So the Dragon Quest games are really good, so I will definitely be picking that up for my Switch. They showed off Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, which is pretty much another Atlas game. It will release July 19th. I probably will pick this one up. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I might not get it on launch day, but definitely it's one that I'm gonna keep an eye on. And it's also gonna be on PlayStation 5 and 4 as well. They did show some gameplay for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Yeah, that's the name of it. But yeah, it looked pretty neat. The new suit. Very interesting new suit. And you pretty much get psychic powers. It's very interesting. But at least it's good that we know that it has an official name, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Should be good. Should be really good. I think it's definitely gonna be one of those that I think gets a whole lot of buzz when it comes out. And I think it'll be really good. The Metroid games usually are a pretty big hit, especially, even though I raged a lot when I played Metroid Dread, which I own. Metroid Prime games are usually pretty good, pretty solid, so definitely we'll be keeping an eye out for this one. But yeah, it looked good. So there's that. Another game, of course, I'm not a Pokemon fan, but I figured I'd mention it. Pokemon Legends ZA. I'm sure a lot of Pokemon fans are going to be all over that. So, yeah, I figured I'd mention it. I'm not a Pokemon fan, but I can respect its popularity and millions and billions of fans. So, yeah. They also showcased Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, which I did end up getting digitally on my PS5 because I have the first Saga Frontier Remastered on there. But that was something I did not expect. And it was a today release. But yeah, Saga Frontier 2 Remastered I played a decent bit back on the PS1. Tough game. Tough game, pretty well animated, and had a really great soundtrack. That's one thing I will say. And even, with the first Saga Frontier game, they both have good soundtracks. I actually really like both soundtracks. And they added some they upgraded the visuals, and apparently they added some extra scenes and story elements apparently that they had mentioned. So but yeah, but at the same time, I expect this to be as insanely and difficult as the original, because like the original Saga Frontier was really difficult. Saga Frontier 2, I got a decent way in the game, but then it just got ridiculously hard. But like I said, love the animation, love the soundtrack, so I figured, why not? So, yeah. A game that really got me excited, Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It pretty much reminded me, kind of sort of, if you took Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and put it in a beat 'em up. That's what this reminded me of. Just with the character animations and everything like that. That's totally what it reminded me of. But it looks awesome. It looks really awesome. I believe they said it's scheduled for holiday 2025. But, I mean, we got to see a decent number of characters represented. Nova, Spider-Man, Captain America, Storm. So, Wolverine. So, I'm definitely looking forward to this beat 'em up. And it's from the same group that did the Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge beat 'em up, which is a great game. If you love Ninja Turtles, definitely recommend that. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this beat 'em up. Looks really cool. The recent one that I played was the G.I. Joe one. I gotta be honest with y'all, the G.I. Joe beat 'em up wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. I had high hopes for it, but it wasn't that good. It really wasn't. I'm hoping the Toxic Avenger beat 'em up will be much better, but that G.I. Joe beat 'em up was not that good. It just was not that good. And then they ended with something very, very interesting. Yeah, it's weird. I'm very curious to see how well this does, but it's definitely something very, very interesting. So, new feature, digital games on the Switch becoming virtual game cards, which will allow the user to share digital games. It's really interesting, and I'll share the link, separate link for this one in the description. But this will be for both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. But yeah, virtual game cards, which will pretty much treat the digital games like physical ones, including being able to lend them out to, family, friends. So, pretty much, in the future, any digital games purchased will be treated like virtual game cards that can be digitally loaded, ejected, and shared with other Switch consoles. This is really interesting. So, looking at the details here, it says, those who own multiple Nintendo Switch devices will be able to move virtual game cards between accounts on up to 2 systems, as if they were ejecting a cartridge and physically inserting it into another device. Now, you have to have a local connection between the 2 consoles, when moving virtual game cards for the first time, and an internet connection is required when loading a virtual game card or moving it to another console. Now it says accounts in the same Nintendo family group, which I'm actually a part of, which currently supports up to 8 people, can lend copies of purchased games to other members of the same group, although only one game at a time can be lent out to a particular person. Lent games are shared across a local wireless connection and last for 2 weeks. So you're pretty much loaning the game digitally for 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, it automatically gets returned to the original owner. They're gonna do the virtual game cards. It'll arrive via a system update, late April, and will be included as a Switch 2 feature when the console launches sometime later this year. It's a very interesting concept. The idea of virtual game cards. Treating the digital games like physical games to a degree. And I mean, it's an interesting concept. Because, I mean, after all, I still don't think there's ever going to be a true, legit, concrete way that somebody with digital purchases will own the game, really. You know what I mean? Like, license and all. But this is an interesting concept. So, digital games to virtual game cards. You can loan them out one game at a time per person. They can use it for 14 days. So 2 weeks, 14 days, and then it's returned back to the original owner. I mean, I guess that's a pretty neat concept. If I had a friend that knew I had a certain game and wanted to play it really badly or wanted to try it out, I could loan it to them digitally, and they could play it for 14 days. So that's pretty interesting. But like I said, it's for digital games only. So that's the thing. Like, I only have a few digital games on my Switch. The rest of the games I have physical. Like, I have them in a case and everything. So I don't know. Like, maybe to the avid physical game collector, this will probably be sort of pointless. But I mean, if there's a lot of Switch owners out there that have a lot of digital games, this is actually very useful. But I don't know. It's an interesting, kind of a neat concept. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it actually gets utilized consistently. But it's an interesting concept. But yeah, that was pretty much it as far as the Nintendo Direct for March that really got my attention that I wanted to talk about. Next bit of news has to deal with Ubisoft. As Ubisoft makes a major deal that will focus on 3 gaming franchises. So, according to this article, Ubisoft has announced a major change to its organization as it looks to the future. as Ubisoft has created a new dedicated subsidiary that will focus on the three main franchises of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. And apparently, Tencent is investing $1.25 billion to take a minority stake, which they say is about 25% of this subsidiary. Now, it did say that Ubisoft, parts of its business that aren't included in this subsidiary, which include franchises like The Division and Ghost Recon, and along with a new IP development, will continue in parallel. However, it's unknown to what extent these changes could result in potential layoffs or studio closures. That's another thing that was mentioned. Like, there could be some layoffs and studio closures from this. But it's interesting to see how this goes. I mean, for the most part, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six are the main three. I honestly thought Ghost Recon would be like, I would figure Ghost Recon Division, I think that would be like the main five. But, I can kind of understand how Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Rainbow Six are the big three. So, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's an interesting strategy that they're taking. But, yeah, dang, Tencent investing $1.25 billion in this subsidiary. Whew, 25%. Man, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. But, in terms of further specifics, it says the new subsidiary will include the development teams working on Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry in Montreal, Quebec, Sherbrooke, Barcelona, Sinagua, and Sofia. And it also includes any new games in those places under development currently or that are made in the future, along with back catalog titles from those teams. Interesting. And, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which recently came out, reached 3 million players and been getting good reviews. I haven't started it yet, but I do own it. But, yeah, I'm too busy working on trying to finish Persona 3 Reload. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all that I have. I'll put the links in the description. But yeah, we'll have to see what this next Nintendo Direct in early April that's supposed to be focused on the Nintendo Switch 2. Maybe we'll get a release date, but I'm sure we'll probably get more details on what the console can do. So, should be good. Should be really good. Anyway, let me know y'all's thoughts. What did y'all think of this March 2025 Nintendo Direct showcase? Let me know what announcements interest you. How do you feel about this new virtual game card feature that's coming to Switch and Switch 2? And let me know what your thoughts are about this Ubisoft news, this major deal, this new subsidiary to focus on Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Let me know your thoughts there. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. For Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube, my name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Laters.